Okay, let's get into this. Finally, only 56 minutes in. So the first scene right out of the gate is Katie Janela having sort of kind of made up with Gina last episode, even though it was in the midst of a fight with Shannon Beador where she was secretly recording Shannon. But Gina was like, I'm good though. I'm glad we made this time to actually communicate. So now Katie is kissing Gina's butt and getting her like a deep shampoo for her hair. And the thing that I found the weirdest in this scene was that Gina comes in and she's wearing like these like, I don't know, like a purple sweatsuit. And Katie's like, I love what you're wearing. And she's like, oh, thanks. It's from the Gap. The Gap. Fall into the Gap, Katie. And Katie's like, wow, I swear to God, they're having a revival. Why put that in there? Is this like weird marketing with, because I know Summer House, remember when they had that scene a couple seasons ago at an Old Navy and Sierra's like, it's crazy how you can find affordable fall fashions in here. Anywho, Kyle's a drunk. Remember that? Like, is this some sort of weird marketing for the Gap? Why do I need to hear about the Gap having a revival? I mean, like, I don't know. Is the Gap having a revival? Do we need to hear about it? I'm proud of Gina for wearing Gap, like PJ or whatever this fucking thing is, but anyways, Gina accepts what she's doing with this deep shampoo thing, and she's like, well, they're gonna find 9 pounds of dry shampoo in here. I've got Legos in my hair. I bet I could sell real estate on the dry scalp stuff I've got going on up here. Travis's balls. Yeah. I love the awkward, like, small talk that they have before they go into their treatment. And so, as always, we know the trope. You go in, you do this thing, you see, like, this thing happening, and then we get into the real conversation about something that's happening. Now, Katie Janela has a little bit of a snarky talking head. It's talking like, Gina really needs, like, her hair's bad. She needs this. And I have noticed a snarkiness that we did not see in first season Katie Janela talking heads with second season. And I don't know if that's just smoke 'em if you got 'em. Like, I'm already going down in flames. Why not I just really express how I feel? Who knows? Gina lets us know in a talking head, I've accepted Katie's apology and I'm willing to accept free scalp treatments. I mean, move forward with her, but trust that, you know, the trust is going to have to be rebuilt over time, right? And then we see, I think one of them snoring, who knows? And now they're going to do red light therapy. And Katie's like, Gina, thank you for coming today. I just feel like I'm on an apology tour right now. I love apology tours. I think they should sell merch for apology tours. So we flash back to 1 week earlier when Katie apologized to Emily before Emily was like stuffing Danishes into her coat pockets. Where Emily's like, I appreciate your apology. So then we get 3 days earlier where Katie goes to Tamra in the 2 T's in a Pod studio saying, I apologize. I swear to God, like I would never intentionally do that to you, Tamra. And then cut to the hot pot scene last week with Shannon going, why would you do that, Katie? Shannon, I'm sorry. Truly. I'm sorry for recording you and having Alexis listen to it. Truly. Katie tells Gina, I'm just so happy that you and I can talk and Emily didn't sneak in and show up too, because that's what she did the last time, right? Where Emily screamed out, I have boundaries and you don't, Katie. Gina's laughing because, once again, free scalp massage, right? So we go from that and we go to Emily's place, and Emily's playing with her new rescue dog, Togo. She's like, Togo, go upstairs. Togo, upstairs with Shane. And we see Tamra walking in, and Togo obviously senses some sort of evil. So Togo goes, I don't feel right. I'm a dog. I don't feel right. Also, once again, these poor dogs. I wonder if Togo has talked to Archie Beador, Shannon's dog, at all. And is like, hey, listen. You're the new dog on the scene. I'm telling you, this is not what it's cracked up to be, okay? We got some rules. Don't secretly record my master, Shannon. That's one thing, Togo, but you'll do fine. I always picture Archie with like a cigar or something. Anyways, Emily welcomes the Princess of Darkness in. They go to sit outside. And also, this Tamra immediately says to Togo, he's like, is that a dog or a coyote? I love that Tamra's like, do you have an illegal animal back? Is that a coyote? Is that some sort of muskrat? What is going on here? Anyways, Togo is hiding behind bushes away from Tamra. And once again, I just think Togo is not signed up to be on a television show. Togo's signed up to have a better life. Anyways, Tamra tells Emily, I am so tired, and Emily's like, from yesterday or from life? And she goes, well, life in general. But yesterday, Emily, it would just push me over the edge. And then Emily is like, well, what did you think when Gretchen Rossi walked in? And we flash back to the, hey, I'm Tamra. Hey, I'm Gretchen Rossi. I still keep thinking about how Gretchen said she has had no work done since her original time on Orange County. Did she mean like I haven't had a real job since Orange County, or did she mean actual face stuff? Because it does look like, I mean, she's very well kept. She looks like AI. You always get impressed with the housewives that like just look AI. And I've seen Gretchen in person, and she looks like AI in person as well. Anyways, Tamra says to Emily, I felt like she looked like an episode of Toddlers and Tiaras. I swear to God, I think Tamra is funny, but I also think she scrolls the internet a lot and maybe just sees things and inputs them into her memory and then spits them back out on camera. Who knows, right? Tamra goes, Emily, I mean, clearly Gretchen hasn't moved forward. Emily goes, she's angry about the podcast. Who isn't angry about a pod? I'm angry about my podcast. We flash back to the hot pot where Gina, Emily, Jenn, Pedranti, and Heather are listening to the Tamra, or is Tamra in this scene? But they're listening to the Tamra clip where she's talking about Slade and Slade's son, which got brought up in last week's episode. And I did talk a little bit about, I think, on Monday's episode. And we hear the podcast, and you hear Tamra's voice say, I know that Slade lost his son, and that's hard. But Michelle lost everything taking care of her son. Michelle is Slade's ex. Gretchen just got a big chunk of money. Michelle is having to go through a GoFundMe to pay for her child services. And Tamra, sorry, it wasn't Jen. It was Tamra sitting there listening to this. And at the hot pot place, Emily says, not good, Tamra. That wasn't good. In a talking head, Emily says, the problem with Tamra isn't recognizing that she said anything wrong. It's always trying to rationalize why she did it. Tamra in a talking head says, we were trying to help the mom out with funeral expenses. And I said, well, I hope that Gretchen donates too. That was it. Now, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I will say I agree with Tamra in this situation. Listen, I don't agree that Tamra should have a podcast about housewives when she is a housewife, but putting that aside, if you are doing a podcast about housewives, this is a big thing that was happening. And I don't know, like, who knows what her actual intentions were? Who knows what if it was just trying to be sly and get one in quick at Gretchen's expense, but this was a big story and it deserved to be paid attention to. And the mom was trying to raise funds for funeral expenses after her son died because Slade allegedly had not paid child support for like $145,000. I'm sorry. I think that's a big deal. I think that's really, really shitty. And I'm waiting for the episode that Gretchen explains this a little better. But Tamra says, yeah, that's what I did. And Emily says in a talking head, it was inappropriate and she shouldn't have done that and she should apologize for that. Why? Wait, Emily, why? The mom needed money. So why? It's only bad because Tamra's on the show now and has to film with Gretchen, but that's doing something good for somebody that actually needed it and for Slade's son who had passed away. Tamra goes, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. Now in the scene, Tamra goes, Emily, the first time I listened to it, I said, is that bad? And then I played it again and I said, really, it's not. And Emily laughs like, you're crazy, Tamra. You're crazy. You're crazy when you get like this. We cut back to Katie and Gina and Gina's dry scalp. And Gina is talking about the clip that we just heard. And Gina goes, yeah, Tamra, that was bad. It's almost like she just doesn't hear herself sometimes, I will also give Tamra this. The daughter posts something and then Gretchen goes on and responds to that. It's almost like they're housewives and they're in some sort of vicious circle. We post about each other for the rest of our lives. The ladies on Jersey do it all the time. And yes, Gretchen did reply to Tamra's daughter. So she's kind of saying, like, listen, they're tit for tat going back and forth. But once again, I still am not fully realizing why what Tamra did was a bad thing on her podcast about Housewives. I feel like I'm going crazy pills. And then we flash back to Tamra, and Tamra's like, Emily, she went to my daughter's Facebook page. She's a minor at the time. Which also, that's a little creepy. Why is anybody going around minors' Facebook pages, right? Emily goes, I know, and she commented on it. And Tamra's like, that's shitty. Tamra's like, I know, I invented shitty, and that is shitty. Imagine Katie doing that to Annabelle, Emily. And Emily goes, she might. Emily, I love, has a mouthful of food. She's like, and she keeps trying to cover her mouth. We'll eat after the scene. Come on. Emily says there are moments where it could be lighthearted and it could be fun. Tamra says, and that's what I thought it was going to be yesterday. No, you didn't. You were like tense going into that scene. And Tamra goes, then I got tag teamed with Dimwit. And Emily goes, oh, Jenn. And Tamra does like a Jenn Pedranti. Now, this is where I don't agree with Tamra, is making fun of Jenn being a Jenn does seem to have a poor memory, but don't say she's a dimwit. So then we flash to Jenn Pedranti getting out of a car. She's all like done up. She's got glasses on. She's at a place called The Bungalow. And I'm just excited that it's not The Quiet Woman. Let's try to destroy another business in the OC. So here she is meeting up with Heather Dubrow. I love when we do the slow-mo walks with the ladies coming in and out of places. Like we see Heather slowly walking into the restaurants. I'm like, okay. Also, Jenn Pedranti's eating jelly beans. I don't know if anybody cares at all, but she is. So Heather and Jenn are sitting down, and Jenn immediately is like, I can't get over the other day at the hot pot. And Heather is ordering, and Heather's like, what does an espresso martini look like around these parts? I like around these parts, like not the fancy Beverly Hills espresso. What's it look like on this side of town? And the lady's like, it's dark, not light. We don't put cream in it. Like, it's dark, not light, Heather. We don't put cream in it. Take it if you want it. I don't care. And then we see Shannon Beador walking in. And, you look beautiful. No, you look beautiful. Blah, 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 blah. We flash back to Katie at the dry scalp thing. And Katie's like, yesterday was pretty brutal at the hot pot. I sent Shannon a text, and I frozen the text, and it says, I feel terrible, mortified. And then there's some things I can't read, and yes, I overshared in March of 2024. I love that she put a specific date. I regret the recording and telling Alexis and sharing the recording nobody heard it other than my husband, who quite frankly doesn't remember. Been there. I've learned, and then there's some things redacted. I've learned a lot of hard lessons about how to navigate the craziness. I hope you're able to accept my apology and that we can be back to being okay. Part of why I shared what I shared with you, what I did is that, and then we don't see anymore. But that was the text that Katie sent Shannon on Saturday, February 22nd at 9:29 a.m. So Katie slept on it, woke up 9:29 a.m. She's like, now it's time to send Shannon. Now it's time. Gina asked Katie, did she text back? And she goes, no. The fact that I hurt Shannon, I'm dying on the inside right now. It could really affect my paycheck. And Gina's like, what you did, recording is very violating and scary, even though I'm loving the dry scalp massage, so it's not that bad. But it is bad. But at the same time, I think she'll get over it. Shannon's an old battle horse. She's a battle axe. We cut to Shannon, and Shannon goes, ladies, I got a text this morning. And Heather's like, she texted you? She texted me this morning, and I met with Katie the day after the Golden Door, and we flash back to, weirdly, it says 4 days earlier, but this is, the meeting with Shannon before the Golden Door. Didn't Shannon just say I met with Katie after the Golden Door? This is before the Golden Door, where Shannon says, Katie, you just said if I did something, that's like an apology, but. And Katie goes, but then here's the thing, Shannon. And she goes, you're saying but. Now back in this scene, Shannon goes, so after that, I got a but. Yes, I had an audio recording of gallery shoot day, Shannon, but no one has heard that recording other than my husband. And then Shannon goes, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, Shannon. The bad to the bone. Shannon storms the door. Okay, I just was made aware of Mint Mobile, and now I am using it, and I don't know why I wasn't using it before, because I was getting burned by my old wireless bill, and that's why I switched to Mint Mobile. And for a limited time, Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for $15 a month on the nation's largest 5G network. You heard that right. $15. Only $15 a month. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. So ditch those overpriced wireless. Get 3 months of unlimited service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. I am using it. You can even use your old phone number. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/sobad. That's mintmobile.com/sobad. It should be so good, but the show is called So Bad, so I get that. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Folks, if you've been listening to the show, you know that I have been on a health journey for the last couple of months, and it's going amazing. But sometimes it is so hard to go out to the store, get all the things that you need, and then cook for hours to try to uphold a healthy lifestyle. And especially because it's summer. And summer, you want to spend as much time outdoors or recording podcasts that you possibly can. So you do not want to be spending those hours cooking inside. And that is where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, and it is perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. Get this, they have over 45 weekly menu options. You can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals, and you choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day sun up to sundown with nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. Enjoy more this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. Get started at factormeals.com/SoBad50off and use code SoBad50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code SOBAD50OFF at factormeals.com/SOBAD50OFF. So that's SOBAD, the numbers 50OFF for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/SOBAD50OFF. She goes, I don't give a fuck who heard the recording. 'Cause I know people did. And then Heather does her famous, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? Emily told me the other day that this all happened. So on my way to Hot Pot, can we stop saying Hot Pot? So on my way to Hot Pot, I called Alexis. And the Alexis echoes with an effect, Alexis, Alexis, which I figure is like the echoing of Alexis's name in Shannon's brain. I called Alexis. And Heather goes, she said we were at lunch. She played it for me. She couldn't remember if Jenn was there or not. Jenn immediately looks down at the table. Make me a bird so I can fly far, far away. We cut back to Katie at the Scout place, and Katie goes, I should have never overshared with Alexis. Yeah, that's the good thing. Just keep saying Alexis is bad. Alexis, I should have never overshared with Alexis. I was with Alexis and Gina, and we were on a triple date, and I shared that, and I shouldn't have ever done that. The fact that you're on a triple date, I think you shouldn't have done that either. And then we flash back, then we go back to Shannon's scene, and Jenn goes, but I wasn't at a lunch where she played it. It must have been the two of them. But I wasn't. Does anybody believe me? In a talking head, Jenn says, I can assure you, Katie did not play the recording in front of me. We need to have, like, for all talking heads, we need somebody like one of those people at the courthouses that swear you in. We need a housewife swearing in on each talking head. We then intercut a Katie Janela talking head where Katie says, I have never hung out with Alexis alone, so Jenn was there. And then Shannon in a talking head goes, I believe Jenn. Jenn's not a liar. And then Heather says, I 100% believe Alexis. Sometimes Jenn doesn't remember all the details. Now in the scene, Jenn goes, Shannon, audio recording somebody, and Heather's like, there is no coming back from that audio recording. Shannon goes, she kept saying I didn't do it on video. And I love Shannon. Shannon is one of the great physical comedians of our day. She's like, you can't hear this, but she like does these I'm doing big gestures with my hand at the table. Heather goes, who cares? And then you goes, but what do I do, Shannon? And Heather goes, I don't think there's any coming back. And Jenn goes, you don't? Okay, so I have to end my friendship with Katie? Okay. Heather goes, Katie has crossed so many lines. And Jenn goes, and so has Tamra. And Heather goes, I am not Tamra Judge's keeper. And Jenn goes, and I'm not Katie's. Jen's like, ooh, I'm doing really good with the repartee in this scene. And Jenn goes, do you give her grace because you're safer to be in that position? And Heather goes, I am not scared of Tamra. You open my Wells Fargo checking account right now and you can see how not scared of Tamra I am. And then we go to now Tamra and Emily's scene again. And Tamra goes, I love how I'm held to a completely different standard than anybody else, according to Jenn. Katie can do horrible things, but what I did last year, I'm the fucking devil. I'm the devil. And she cannot get over it. Now, they do flash and intercut a scene of like Tamra getting the FBI prop hat like Carrot Top when Ryan was going through the trouble with the FBI. Yeah, man, those are devil-like qualities. And Tamra goes, they're baiting me. They're baiting me. They're playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse right now, Emily. And Emily goes, yeah, they are. I agree with that. Yeah, they're baiting me because Ryan just put that post out, Emily, that said, you say my name once. And we see the DM pop up on screen. It says, the lawsuit is ready for you. You got lucky that I gave you a pass last season. I can guarantee it comes for you this season the minute you open your mouth about me. And I just want to go on record. I think Ryan's top notch. No problems here, Ryan. Let's keep it classy. Love your name. So Tamra's telling this message to Emily. And Tamra goes, Emily, my attorney said, don't be around him. In a talking head, Tamra goes, you know what? He wants to sue me. I'm smart enough to, no, just don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it. I'm not falling for your bait, but I will still talk about you in talking heads because talking heads don't hold up in court. And Emily says, what are you going to do about Heather's party? And Tamra goes, well, Heather said she's taking care of it. We go back to Heather and Heather goes, can we change the subject just for a second? I am having a birthday party. For myself. We know, Heather. And Shannon's tickled. Shannon's like, oh, that's classic, Heather. Shannon in a talking head says, even though our birthday was a month and a half ago, happy birthday, Heather. Heather goes, my birthday is January 5th, but I don't like celebrating because it's right after the holidays and everybody's like broke and fat and hungover and dry, whatever. Wait, so after the holidays, you're broke, dry, fat, hungover, but you're dry? What is it? Because it says hungover, so she doesn't mean dry in terms of not drinking alcohol, but she means dry, like everybody's skin's dry after the holidays? I've never really taken a second to feel my skin, ever. I do not like touching my skin. Heather goes, so I usually wait until February, and it's just an excuse for me to show off my money. No, she goes, it's an excuse to get dressed up and have a bit of fun. There's a little bit of a conundrum. I told Tamra I was having this party, and she said to me, are Jenn and Ryan coming? Of course I'm going to invite Jenn. And she said that her attorney said that she shouldn't be in the same room, and she goes, oh, I'll just won't come. I don't want her to not come. I want you to come as well, Jenn Pedranti. And I'm not telling you not to bring Ryan. I just don't know how to handle this. Okay, so the puzzle would be like, well, either Ryan doesn't come or Tamra doesn't come. I don't know how to, you're like, come on. You're just trying to make her fall on the sword, right? And Jenn goes, then you're choosing Tamra. Because that's that's my husband. Not yet. You're just fiancés. Unless you're married and you've been lying. She goes, that's my fiance who did nothing. I had to sit there and argue that my kids live in a fucking safe house that was never raided by the FBI. I had to pay attorney fees that I do not have the fucking money for because your fucking friend said we were raided by the FBI. Now there's like shots of like patrons getting disturbed. And this is what I say. When Jenn goes there, she goes there. Like Jenn can get into it. And she's using a strong voice. And she's like, that fucking woman has caused so much pain. So if she doesn't want to come and be around Ryan, fuck her. And Shannon goes, oh, sweetie. Oh, sweetie. Oh, sweetie. That's the truth, Heather. And people are cheering. People are like, woo. And Shannon's like, yay. She's like, I'm sorry. That is so painful that you just asked me that. And Heather goes, I didn't ask you anything. I am not uninviting you. And she's like, why do you side with her, Heather? Why do you side? I'm not siding. I'm literally rich and trying to throw an event for a TV show. Why do you lower yourself, Heather? And she goes, no. That's bullshit. Are you not lowering yourself, Jenn, to be with someone who will videotape one of her friends? Talking about Katie. And Jenn in a talking head says, I don't think that's a fair comparison. You know, recording Shannon was horrible, but Tamra's done damage to people. And I'm sorry, but you are the company you keep. And Heather is better than that. Heather in a talking head goes, you know what, Jenn? I am not better than that. She goes, you know what, Jenn? If you're looking at me and my friendships, what does it say about you and yours? I don't fucking know. What does it say? What? Are we all supposed to look at each other's friendships on this show? We flash back to Ryan at the engagement party going, hey, this is the person that I launder money through. Heather goes, I'm sorry you're upset, Jenn. Well, I'm sorry that I get upset, but it is not right, Heather. Heather goes, all right, well then I am just going to invite everybody and we'll let the chips fall where they fall. My very rich chips, they're going to fall where they. So now we have a scene with Katie and her family, Matt, her husband, her son, 7-year-old Bandon. And then for the first time, we have Katie's son, 18-year-old Gavin is there. And they're all making some food around the kitchen island. But I was really excited to see Katie's son because we knew that he was splitting his time between Orange County and San Diego. She said weekends he'd be in Orange County with them and weekdays he would be in San Diego with Matt for school, but he wanted to be with his friends and party and hang out. And even now that he's full-time in Orange County, Katie says she barely sees him, but thank God we got him on OC. He's working, friends, girlfriend, but Katie says he's always gone. Isn't that teenagers for you, right? Anyway, so we're having some awkward family conversation. How are the grades? He's like, good. And his grades are really good, Katie says. And she says, I know it's not easy switching schools senior year, but at least you still get to see your friends from San Diego, right? Max talked about Christmas when he was here, and Max is the other son, and we see a blurred out photo of Max. I'm assuming this is a blurred out photo, and he doesn't just look like a blurred out like just couldn't imagine that's not blurred out, that's just my face. But Katie says that's the first time he's ever really acknowledged moving home. In a talking head, Katie says she got a lot of criticism from a lot of people for letting Max make his own decision where he wants to live. We flash back to last season where Tamra's saying you have one child that still lives in Georgia who is 14 years old. And it is very hard on Katie. She always wanted her kids to grow up knowing that their mother supported what they wanted. Because courts tell kids where to go all the time, Katie says, and they're miserable. See, this is what I'm saying. When I see Katie with her family, I appreciate it. And I don't know, like, that's why it's so hard to kind of reconcile her lying about these stupid things. And I don't know what it's for. Is it trying to bolster her, like, standing in a group of housewives? Which, by the way, that's probably exactly what I probably just answered my own question. But, the son is saying, I think it's just because we were together for so long and then we got separated for a bit for a long time. We kind of just like, I don't know, you miss each other, talking about the sons being away from each other. Katie says, we started our custody battle almost 11 years ago. And she said giving up legal and physical custody at the time was the best decision for her kids. And we flash back to Emily at the reunion saying, for you to lose both physical and legal custody as well, that's the part that doesn't make sense to me, Emily says. And Katie responded to her at the reunion saying, at the time, I was literally homeless with 3 kids. We had nowhere to go. That was a horrible, horrible time, which does make you understand a little bit of why she would then say this stuff on podcasts or let her daughter go on podcasts to talk about whoever, Emily talking to the kids about Heather Dubrow of all people. Katie says to stay in the home that they were growing up in, to keep going to the school in their district, that was the best choice for them. I just got through it. I worked. I made money. I feel like women to woman, we should be celebrating, praising her, and lifting her up for something that she survived. Using that against me, I feel like is really shitty. Yeah, it is. But then when you do something in a similar vein or tactic, it just doesn't play well, especially on a second season where we are still getting to know who you are. All of what you just said sounds amazing. It does sound like, wow, you have been through a battle in your life. The stories you must have to tell, right? And then she asked her son, Bandon, the 7-year-old, said, hey, Bandon, what do you think about all of us being at one house when Maxie moves here? And Bannon's like, I'd really love it. Bannon's like, can I get a little more allowance money? I'd love it. But then he says, I just don't like him not being here. Bandon, you're a star, kid. I love it. But she says, he says, I just always miss him, so I just get mad at him. Katie in a talking head tearfully says, I've been trying to make it work for so many years, and it's just really been a struggle. So now to have them all together feels like she's reached the end, she says. Yeah, I could imagine it does, right? And then she goes, Bandon, you don't get mad when Sissy goes away for a long time. Sissy is Kylie, the one that did the podcast, who is 20 years old. And Bandon goes, that's because she's way more annoying than Max. Girls suck. Jax Taylor rules. But we all laugh. Families, am I right? We cut out of that scene. We see some beach, and then we're at a place called Tavern and Bowl. And I'm like, my God, a bowling scene? What have we come to, a bowling scene? So we have the whole gang, Emily and Shane, come in, and it's of no surprise, Emily says that Shane has brought his own bowling shoes. And I'm like, Shane is my man. He likes Thirstbusters, and he has his own bowling shoes. I have to tell you, when I was a kid, I had a pair of bowling shoes. Now, Shane, obviously a grown adult man, but there's still a piece of me that wishes I had bowling shoes. We find out that Emily is a 9.5 in bowling shoe. So they're getting set up at the lanes. It's one of those cool, hey, this ain't your parents' bowling. This is sexy bowling. We've got neon lights and it's dark and we serve craft beer. Gina walks up and is like, prepare to lose, big ball Travis. Woo. So they're getting in there. Shane's already chucking them down like the Big Lebowski. And Emily's like, that's hot, Shane. And Shane's like, I'm going to do something to that butt later, Emily. Woo! Anyways, Gina comes in, tells Emily, I love your jeans, Emily. I love them. I don't know. So we always compliment other ladies each scene. Shannon is on the bowling screen. Shannon storms Beador, and then it says Shannon's man, because Shannon is bringing a dude, right? And they're like, which man is Shannon bringing? And that's right. She's back together with John Janssen. No, she's not. But Emily goes, is this the same guy that she's bringing to Heather's party later in this episode, Emily says? And Gina goes, Heather's birthday party? That's a month later than her actual birthday? And Emily's like, yeah, why is it a birthday party? Why not just make it a party? And Heather goes, because she must celebrate herself. I like it when these guys talk shit to each other, but I wish they would step into their power more and not feel the need to lean towards Heather or Tamra. You know what I'm saying? Shannon comes in with Adam, who we met on Love Hotel, and you guys, they're wearing matching bowling outfits. What kind of friends do this? Am I to assume that they're doing the hippity-dippity, even though Shannon says they're not? Shannon comes in hot. Who's ready to bowl? And literally bumps into Travis and his huge bowls. Bulls. Anyways, Jenn Pedranti gets there. It's a family affair, you guys. I literally still can't get over the matching bowling shirts. Shannon lets us know Adam was on Love Hotel, and we flash back to a scene, and I can't tell, is Shannon being made to bring these men in to cross-promote Love Hotel, even though it's off the air? But Shannon goes, but I eliminated Adam. I eliminated him. but he's the real winner, getting to bowl with you. And we even get to see her eliminating this man. And Shannon goes, Adam is 6 years younger than me. He says he might want to have kids again. That ain't happening here. Emily says, I feel like Shannon is still on this hotel journey. She hasn't stopped. Emily points out that Shannon dated a guy named Earl the Pearl. I don't know why they broke up. Maybe this guy is good for Shannon because he's clearly wacky enough to wear a matching bowling shirt. They seem equally nuts. Emily does make a strong point. So anyways, this guy Adam's already telling Shannon, why don't you do the first shot and I'll do the second shot. This guy already has a bowling plan. Shannon throws it down how you imagine Shannon would throw a ball down a lane, and she goes, damn it, as it goes right into the gutter. Adam throws a little bit better, and Shannon's like, whoa, Adam, whoa. So we're doing that normal thing where we do the activity before we get to the meat of the scene. Emily bowls while she's eating a chicken finger. Talent. So now Gina is grilling Adam. When was your last serious relationship, Adam? And he's like, oh, it's been a while. Are you like a big drinker, Adam? And he goes, no. Do you have a temper? And Shannon's like behind, like, what are you doing, Gina? You're embarrassing me. And he says he's a very even keel kind of guy. Gina goes, I simply will not tolerate a Johnny Janssen 2.0 situation. In a talking head. Good. I'm glad people are standing up for Shannon. We flash back to 2022 with an angry John Janssen going, fuck Gina. I'm John Janssen. It is not happening on my watch. No. But they all joke about Shannon having post-traumatic John disorder. Gina goes, I don't care if I have to stay here all night. I will find out. Are you an early bird or a late bird? It would be great. Like, do you wear condoms? Do you pleasure a woman first before you do your man business with the goo? I don't know. It's a little bit of a bit. It's gone on way too long. He also does say he's never going to retire. Gina's like, is he a private person? Does he low-key want to be very famous? Not very. You're not going to be very. You're going to be moderately famous if you're on a Housewives show. Do you believe that we landed on the moon, Adam? Adam's like, the moon is a base. The moon is made of cheese, and the moon landing was fake. When he starts talking about anti-vax things. No, Adam seems, I don't know, somewhat normal, except that he wants to be on television. Travis pulls Gina aside, swinging those huge balls, and he's like, you're treating him like one of our dogs. I know, I've been a little close. You're harassing him up his ass. Yeah, I'm going to take it down, Travis. I'm going to take it down, you know? So Emily says, Shannon, are we all going to go to Heather's birthday party? And Shannon's like, Heather did tell me the other night that Katie's coming. And Heather is pissed because Katie, audio taped. Shannon in the talking head says, when I see Katie at Heather's party, I intend to make it very, very clear I have nothing else to ever say to her again. Shane asked Shannon, hey, you going to crash when you get home, huh? And I was like, what the fuck, Shane? Because obviously Shannon had that thing where she crashed into the side of a house. And I was like, Shane Simpson. And he goes, no, are you going to crash, Shannon? Sleep. Are you going to sleep? Like fall asleep? I mean, this couldn't have been real. But it can't be real. But then Shannon goes, this is stop one. We're going to do an outfit change, and then we're going to go to the next place. They're starting off the night with bowling? What? So now we're over at Jenn and Ryan's house, and Ryan is talking about being a stepdad to Jen's kids and wishes their actual dad was a little more hands-on, but I was so distracted because Ryan is wearing this like stone-washed denim thing that I was like, oh my God, is that shit coming back? Is like the stone denim wash thing? It was very distracting to like a lot of Ryan's fashions. I'm like, it looks okay on him, but I'm like, let's not try to put this out there as like fashion. Is this fashion forward? It feels like fashion backwards. Who knows? Anyways, their son, one son comes down who has signed up for the Marines, and he is going to boot camp, and Jenn wants to make sure that they get married before her son, Dawson, leaves for boot camp. And she's like, I'm not going to get married without Dawson being there, right? Jenn says Dawson came to her after he had already met with a recruiter with his dad, and the conversation was, I'm joining the Marines. She tells his son, this is the path that you want to take in your life. And he seems very resolute. Yep, I do. And Ryan goes, Jenn, he's committed. Hey, lay off the young man. He's committed. Let's just make sure he doesn't wear any of my clothes. But Jenn says it's hard. I don't know if Dawson is trying to make his dad proud. It just causes a little bit of worry or stress or something like that. And of course, I'm so proud of Dawson, but I'm a mom. And she's tearing up a little bit in the talking head. Dawson in the scene says, they say like the hardest part of it isn't physical, it's mental. And so it's like, I'm kind of nervous. I just kind of want it to be here already in terms of boot camp. He just wants the training to hurry up. And Jen's like, well, what does dad say? He's just so proud of you? And Dawson's like, yeah, he's proud of it. And Ryan goes, well, I'm proud of you too, from a maturity standpoint. It's just incredible how much you've grown. Jenn says, it's a fine line you walk as step-parents. There's been the issues with not respecting curfews. We flash back to last season when that was happening. And being out late on a school night. Jenn says, I do think when it matters or it's a teachable moment, Ryan steps in. This is how you allegedly launder money. I'm joking. It's comedy. But Jenn says, I just want him to be in addition to, not in place of, their dad. Jenn tells Dawson, you know, the maturity thing that I wanted to talk about, actually, I've been stressing about this. Did you sign Harrison's school loan with dad? One of the other sons. And Dawson says, yeah, I did. And 3 weeks earlier, we flash back to Jenn talking to Harrison saying, hey, did everything with your student loan work out? And he's like, yeah, totally got worked out. So we find out that the dad asked Jenn to do a loan to go to USC for her son. And she said no because she didn't want any other financial entanglements with her ex. And so the dad had Dawson do it. And USC costs like $75,000 a year. So this is already it's going to go on his credit. Jenn says Dawson thinks he understands what he's signing. You don't. You're 18 and you just took on USC student loans. Do you have any idea what this means? Ryan, obviously knowing a lot about financial situation, goes, you are on the hook for Harrison student loans. He pulls Dawson aside later. Hey, man, could you sign a loan for me? I got something going in Vegas. I think it's real big. It's going to make us a lot of dough. But no, Ryan actually says, listen, this could negatively affect your ability to borrow in the future. So if you wanted to go buy a new car, they're going to look at your debt to income ratios and they're going to show that on your debt side, right? I mean, Ryan does know. I'm sitting here writing shit down. I'm like, wait, what? What do I have to do? I'm going to DM Ryan tonight. Hey, man, what do I need to do with my finances? What's a debit card, dude? What's a 401k, man? So this is wild, though, that the dad would ask the son to sign the other stuff. Like, what? That's a lot of burden to put on this young man going into the military, right? I just thought it was very weird. Ryan says after Dawson leaves the room, I am blown away at this. I never thought we could ask the kids for loan. No, he goes, I'm blown away at this. As a father, could not imagine putting my son in that spot. And so we get out of that scene, but my God, feels very, very weird, right? So then we go to Heather Dubrow walking up the steps at, I don't know, some other place that they're going to have lunch. She's having lunch with Tamra, right? Two OGs of the OC. Heather at this restaurant immediately orders a bottle of Veuve Clicquot, but then she's like, can we get the wine glasses instead of the champagne flutes? I'm trying to look like more of an asshole. Heather tells Tamra, you've been very calm lately. And Tamra's like, a lot's been going on. Just the whole past 6 months it's just been not a fun time for me. Between deep diving into therapy and Teddy and stuff. And she starts crying. And Tamra's like, I go down this rabbit hole every night where I just go on Teddy's Instagram and I just look at all of her videos. And we see all of these videos with Tamra and Teddy and all the stuff that they've done together. And she's dabbing her, eyes with a napkin. And she said, I don't know what's going to happen. But in my heart, I'm like, she's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. And it's like this struggle inside my head, Tamra says. I just feel like my life in the past 6 months has just been such a downer between digging up everything from childhood and having to live with Eddie on a regular basis. No, to what has gone on with Sydney, her daughter, and all that stuff. I feel like I'm crying all the time, and I feel like I'm sick of it, she says to Heather. And Heather goes, you're doing the work on yourself. And I'll tell you, I've said it to some of the other girls too. I'm very proud of you. I'm going to lick your ass right now, Tamra. And she's like, just trying to do my best. You are. In a talking head, Heather says, I've never seen Tamra go through so much emotionality. And I see her making improvements to herself and really trying. She seems balanced to me, and she's being thoughtful about her interactions. She tells Tamra, I see the difference in you, and I said to Jenn, I don't understand why you guys aren't giving Tamra any grace. All right, we've got our first mention of grace in this episode. We're only 32 minutes in. Grace has finally been said by a housewife. I got the sense that Gretchen now getting into the mix with Jenn. And Tamra goes, oh, it's the Tamra bashing time. And Heather goes, and I don't like that. And I really want you at my party. And Tamra's like, honestly, Heather, my attorney says do not be around him. Do not be around him. It's not worth it. So I did talk to her, Tamra. How'd that go? Not well. Not well. Tamra goes, just tell him he can't come. I know, but I told everyone to bring their significant others. And then to say, except you, it's starting a war, an OC war. Tamra in a talking head goes, why is she inviting him? Is his friendship better than mine? And that's the part that hurts my feeling. Oh, come on, Tamra, be an adult. You know what it is. It's a dumb fucking thing. The friendship isn't better. It's understandable. Tamra tells Heather, you don't have a relationship with him. No, it's 50 people. It's mingling, dancing, hangout vibe, Tamra. Just steer clear of each other. And Tamra's like, I don't know. No, come on. Get a pretty dress. Grab your husband. Make him wear a pretty dress as well. And Tamra's like, no. He's like, no. Eddie's like, no, I don't deal with that kind of shit. Yes, but maybe you can bring a friend. And Heather gives Tamra a look. I'll think about it, Heather. I'll think about it. That's all she can do. Just think about it. We now have the round robin of people getting ready for Heather Dubrow's birthday party 2 months later. And we started Jenn, and we realized that Ryan just had knee surgery the day before, and Jenn is still Jen's like, I fought tooth and nail to get you invited, and so he has to go. And she's kind of schooling him of like, if Tamra's there, don't get into it, don't engage. He's like, no, I got this, babe, I got this. We go over to Katie, who's getting glam, and Katie's talking about being nervous to talk with Shannon. And I love that we need just a show about the glam artists, because they seem to be the cast's true friends, because the glam person is like, just, don't have the peanut gallery involved, just pull Shannon and talk to her. And Katie Janela's like, oh, you mean Emily? And the glam artist knows. He's like, no, those are your words, not mine. And then we go over to Shannon, and she's getting glammed. And this time, Phil from Love Hotel is going to be Shannon's date. Shannon is still doing a dating show all these months later. Her glam artist is like, I didn't know whether or not you kept in contact with anybody after. And Shannon's like, legitimately the whole cast. Joel Kim Booster is coming with me next week. Who knows? But she goes, just friends. We're not hooking up. Just friends. All these guys are just friends. It would be great if Shannon's lying to us and she's hooking up with every single one of them. Okay, so now it's the night of Heather's event. Heather gets out. She walks in with her son, Nikki, and her husband, Terry, in slow-mo. And Heather's birthday party, they're like, it's a very Heather Dubrow event. It's very fancy, very ornate, a lot of curtains, all of this stuff. And Heather's like, do I feel like there's a certain obligation to throw a party at a certain level? Yes. I have a fabulous gal sitting in a huge champagne coupe glass to pour champs. And Terry's saying hello to the champs girl. But that's not all, folks. She also has people rolling joints. I love that we're slowly making inroads to talking about marijuana use on these shows. So people are making joints at this party. She's got two guys doing haikus, typing up haikus. She got sushi. She got sliders. Wouldn't it be great? She's like, and I have cheese dip. I have melted cheese dip. But she also has French fries and caviar bumps. Wouldn't it be great if she was like, also a cocaine station? We flew a bunch of kilos from Colombia. That would be a real party, right? So Terry is doing the step and repeat, but she also mentioned she hired photographers. These are not paparazzis. These are professional photographers. So now we're seeing the arrivals. Emily and Shane didn't bring his bowling shoes this time, but Emily walks in and goes, oh my God, it is so ornate. I love that Emily will always say something a little off kilter about any party that Heather Dubrow. It wouldn't be a Heather Dubrow party if it wasn't crazy expensive and Emily said something kind of wacky about it, right? So everybody's wishing Heather a happy belated birthday, and Emily in a talking head says, you know, the point of a birthday party is your birthday, when you were born, when you were birthed, right? On this earth. So 2 months later just feels random. Gina didn't bring Travis because he couldn't fit his balls through the door, so she brought her friend Tatiana. Gina is like, happy birthday, Heather, woo, woo. Gina's like, some people celebrate Christmas in June. Heather celebrates her birthday whenever she wants. She tells Heather that Travis is very sad to miss this. And Heather's like, I so appreciate that. And I love Travis, but I totally get it. Jenn and Ryan are coming. By the way, I found out he had knee surgery, and I'm thinking maybe he's convalescing. Maybe he doesn't want to come, and that way Tamra could come. So Jenn and Ryan walk in. Ryan's very impressed with how big and gaudy it is. And this guy's like hobbling up, and there's a lot of stairs, right? A lot of stairs and a lot of candles. Emily finally asks Heather, is Tamra coming? And she doesn't know. She does not know. Ryan immediately gets a champagne from the Shams girl in the glass. And then some other people come in. Josh Flagg from $1 Million Listing is there. The stars are out, folks. And then Katie and Matt come in, and, you know, Katie's like, it looks like a castle. And Matt's like, it looks super gaudy. Slade and Gretchen walk in. Gretchen, her second episode of the season. Gina's very impressed with like the smoke bubbles that are being made around the drinks. It's very, very fancy. Shannon finally walks in with her date Phil from the Love Hotel, and Katie's kind of nervous. But she's like, what do I move? I mean, I don't want to avoid her. And they're like, yeah, don't avoid her. And Shannon walks in going, Katie better stay away. And Phil's like, where is she? Yeah, she's over there, Phil. She's over there. And we cut to commercial. We come back from break, and Heather is showing everybody the caviar bumps, and it would be great if Emily was just stuffing the caviar into her coat pockets. Gina is she's like, drive-by caviar is a bit much for me. It's very fancy. Just another day in the life of Dubrow. Phil is saying hello to the ladies. You know, I wonder if Phil's nervous. This is big. This is not Peacock. This is not Love Hotel, baby. This is prime time Housewives. Phil's meeting all the girls, and because Phil does have very nice white, potentially fake chompers teeth. And Emily's like, love your teeth. Love your teeth, Phil. But Shannon says Phil got to know all the girls, and he is just wonderful. He's one of our favorites. Gina says to Phil, I may have seen you on the Instagram, have I? And we see a picture of Shannon from Shannon's Instagram with Phil. I think this is at a USC game. Phil meets Emily. Oh my God, you have amazing teeth, Phil. Wow. So they're buttering Phil up. Emily says, at this point, I have met Earl, I have met Adam, and now I'm meeting Phil. Shannon goes, okay, Phil is not a neck-up friend, nor a friend with benefits. He is a friend. He does not get to feel my nipples. Emily says, I just keep meeting them. I meet one, I meet a new one, and there's another one. So they love it. There's like tequila shots that are being handed out, you know. So Shannon keeps eyeing seeing where Katie is. Katie keeps looking over at Shannon. The tension is building as Shannon downs a tequila shot. Now, I will say, for such an expensive party, because there was a little scene with Terry Dubrow saying that this party was 4 times more expensive than the Nobu party a couple of seasons ago, and the Nobu party cost $35,000. So you're telling me this cost $140,000 and they only invited 50 people. I'm not buying it. I mean, it's fancy here and there, but only 50 people? And this isn't a Heather Dubrow real party because Heather Dubrow knows hundreds of people. So it just seems set up for this scene, right? Now Shannon's throwing an empty shot glass at the big gong that everybody is doing, and she really nails it. And then for a friend, she's like all like touching Phil, like, oh, Phil, ah! Sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much. Anyways, Gina's walking with her friend going, I love how we just walk around, and it's mirrored everywhere. Where's the bathroom? And then they get to a big, empty stage. Gina says the venue used to be a massive Christian television network compound. And oh my God, I know exactly where this is. And it's giving off all of these particular vibes that you would get at some place like this. I mean, everything is good. I mean, it's like Trump Tower. But Gina goes, it also feels like weird cult shit. Welcome to a Heather Dubrow party, right? So Shannon's like, this is so nice, Phil. Can you believe I brought you? And then Terry goes, you guys, there's a marijuana bar right there. They'll roll you a whole thing. And then Terry shows the glass and it's not in the glass little container because Terry probably ate it. He's like, where'd it go? Oh, God. I love that Terry's potentially stoned out of his gourd. Gina is talking to Katie saying, hey, how do you feel about being here? And Katie says, I'm glad that I'm here at Heather's birthday. I never thought I would be at Heather's birthday. And Gina's like, honestly, me either. But seeing Shannon makes me sad. I'm sad, Katie says. And then we see Shannon talking and she goes, I just filled Phil in about Katie recording me, Terry, at the gallery shoot. And Terry goes, that's not cool. Yeah, I'm in botched. That shit wouldn't fly on botched. Then we go back to Emily talking to Katie saying, so you're good with Tamra. And Katie says, no, I'm not actually good with Tamra. I'm actually really hurt by her. In a talking head, Katie says, after going to Tamra's house, following on the sword, apologizing, then she ran and told Gina and Emily about the recording. She again is stabbing me. And every time something in this group has come up about me, she's been the one to spread the information. Yeah, man, that's Tamra's purpose on this show. But they're all surprised that Tamra's not here. They don't know where she's at. Now, Emily's talking to Gretchen and Jenn, and Emily's like, so is Tamra coming? They're like, I don't know. We don't know. I get it. Jenn goes, I obviously don't know. And Jenn goes, if she does, I've just told Ryan to stay away. So it's all good. We get shots of the DJ, more of the drinks, a lot of people stirring up drinks. And then Emily is introduced to Slade. And Emily's like, no, we've known each other for a long time. We go way back. And Emily's like, how are you guys? How are you? And Gretchen goes, by the way, for testosterone, I'm sorry. Wait, what does Gretchen say here? Oh, she says, by the way, for testosterone, we both go to Sandra. So Emily and Gretchen share a testosterone dealer. That's amazing. And then Emily goes, we should go together. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be a future scene, getting testosterone. And Gretchen's like, testosterone's for our sex drive. And Slade Smiley's like, ha, 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 ha. And then out of nowhere, Gretchen goes, I broke Slade's penis for real. And I'm like, save something for the finale. My God. And Slade's like, hey. And Slade goes, no, honestly, it's a real medical thing. Like where I actually broke Slade's penis. And Emily's like it broke? And Gretchen's like, it went like this. And she makes a bending motion with her finger. In a talking head, Gretchen goes, when it breaks, it causes scar tissue on one side of the shaft. And so now when Slade gets hard, it bends because this isn't getting hard, this section. Okay, let's just all take a second and throw up. And then Gretchen goes, and I make the joke that he's like Captain Hook. Ah! Oh, the fact that I have to envision Gretchen breaking Slade's penis. And Emily goes, were you on top? And she goes, yeah. And Emily goes, yeah, that's the only way it would break, not from behind. That would be, oh, God. And Gretchen goes, I came down a little too hard. And Slade's just shaking his head like, ugh. Gretchen on the way over is like, babe, I got to get some good screen time. I'm going to go with the old broken penis scar tissue thing. I got to do it. So now Heather comes up to Katie and, thanks for letting me come, Heather. And like, of course. Have you talked to Shannon yet? And Katie goes, no, I sent her a text apologizing. I know, she showed it to me. Oh, she did? Maybe you guys will have a chance to talk tonight. And then Shannon is talking to Emily, Slade, Jenn, Ryan, and Shannon's like, why is Heather chit-chatting with Katie? Like, nothing happened. Are you fucking kidding me? Poor Phil. Phil's like, what? Heather, back at her scene, Heather goes, by the way, Katie, I have a photographer around, so I have to mingle a little. But you should get pictures with your significant others, since this is potentially one of the last group settings you'll be invited to. So Jenn is now sitting with Katie and saying, hey, Katie, I really want you to fix this with Shannon. And Katie's like, okay, I need to ask her to chat. And Shannon's now up at the food buffet, and she's like, this is all fattening. And Phil goes, this is not. Phil's pointing at his privates. No, he's pointing at sushi. And Heather, Shannon's finally like, I'm going in. I'm getting a grilled cheese. I'm going in. Do you want to sit down, Phil? Then he goes, let's sit over there near Katie. He's like, I do not want to sit over there. Katie tells Jenn, I don't want it to get loud. I don't want Emily around me when I pull Shannon. And Jenn goes, well, maybe take Shannon and only Shannon. I love that we're about to kidnap Shannon to have a conversation. Phil tells Shannon, you don't want to rekindle a friendship with Katie? And she goes, no. So Jenn goes, well, why don't I go distract Phil and you can then talk to Shannon? So all of a sudden Jenn walks up and goes, oh, where'd you get sushi, Phil? And Katie goes, hey, Phil, I'm Katie. And he stands up. Nice to meet you. And Jenn goes, can I take you over this way, Phil, for a second? We've got auditions for Love Hotel Season 2 over this way, right? And so Phil gets away and Katie's like, can I talk to you for a second? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. And so Gina sees this and she's like, oh my God, it's happening. Shannon's talking to Katie. Katie goes, Shannon, I am very, 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 very sorry. I did not mean to hurt you in any way. I have no excuse. Emily's telling Gretchen, Katie and Shannon are talking. And Gretchen goes, I'm hoping that it's not going to be bad. Are you hoping, Gretchen? Are you praying? And Emily goes, it's going to be bad. Now Shannon telling Katie, Shannon goes, Katie, you sent me a text. And Katie goes, I did. I was giving you context. And Shannon goes, no, you were giving me excuses. Excuses. And that is not an apology. What you did is illegal. And we have really intense music as we play off to another commercial break. We're back from break and Shannon's like, what you did is illegal. Because I expected my privacy. That day, when you videotaped me and I was upset. And Katie goes, I don't remember what it was about. And Shannon's like, oh, are you kidding me? It's none of your business what it was about. And Katie's like, well, you came in, it was on speakerphone, and that's why. No, I went outside. And Katie goes, no, it was at your... She does seem to remember a lot of it for not remembering what the conversation was about. She probably has the voice memo still on her phone. It was on speakerphone, Shannon, where me and Jenn were sitting. Gretchen says in a side conversation, do you think she'll be able to get past it or no? And Emily goes, no, never, no. Would you be able to get past it, Gretchen? And Gretchen goes, that's a tough one. Now, Katie goes, you had just showed up. And Shannon's like, and is that your business? No, but you made it my business when it was on speakerphone, she says. And I was on a Zoom call with a potential investor. And Shannon goes, then take a fucking walk outside. In a talking head, Shannon goes, you're on an important business call, but you hung up on that business call to record me. Maybe the investors was something about, stalking Shannon. Who knows? I gotta go. But Shannon makes a good point. So it must have not been that important. In the scene, Shannon goes, the fact that you're sitting here, Katie, trying to defend yourself. And Katie's like, no, I'm apologizing to you. And Shannon's like, no, you didn't. Emily talking to Heather going, it's your party, so I just want to bring your attention that Shannon and Katie have a thing. Emily, we know they have a thing going on over there. The cameras are all over there, and this is what housewives parties are meant for, fights. Emily goes, I don't know if you want to intervene or no. I don't know. And then Shane Simpson with the little one-liners. I think we should record this conversation. Everybody's laughing about Shane's little witticism. And then Shannon, back to her, she's in full, like, using her finger in a circle motion. Nothing you say adds up, ever. I've gone to the bottom of the barrel with these women in this group. Never once has anyone recorded me behind my back that you've caught. I mean, that you know of. Katie says, do you know who it went to, Shannon? My husband. Alexis never heard it, Shannon. Now, we know this is a lie because Heather told her earlier that Alexis admitted to hearing it. So Shannon knows that she has caught now Katie in another lie, which is hard when you're being apologized to. And Shannon's like now fully crazy motion. She's like, oh my God, you did, Katie. I worry about your mental state. I really do. And then Katie's like, you were worried about my mental state? Katie in a talking head says, I'm calmly talking to you, and you're the one screaming and yelling, so I feel like my mental state is okay. Comparatively. Shannon goes, you were the person that sat right next to me in Sonoma, when I found out that there were alleged videos of me the night of the DUI. We don't need a flashback. We know this scene. Where Katie's revealing that Alexis says she has Ring cameras, that John Janssen has videos, right? And she saw that Shannon's like, oh my God, they're trying to take me down. Shannon in this scene goes, Katie, you decided, knowing all that I've been through, to video record me. And Katie goes, I did do that. Katie, no apology will ever measure up to how much you violated me, because I put you now in the category of John Janssen. How dare you record me? And then Katie goes, so I sued you for $75,000? That's equal? And she goes, no, you recorded me and sent it to Matt. And Katie goes, and so did John. And Shannon's just flustered, like, are you kidding me? I went through hell last year, Katie, and you decided to capitalize on it? Katie says, but what was happening to you from John and Alexis was not my fault. You are in their category. Katie's like, no, I'm not. Now Jenn and Gina are like, should we go over there? Should we go over there? I hate these little should we go over there. Just go if you want. And Shannon's out, can I talk? Can I talk? And Katie goes, no, because you're talking over me. And Shannon's like, ah! So Heather's like, do you think Shannon needs my help? And Emily goes, no, I think Shannon's on the verge of leaving. She's on the verge of a Shannon out. And then Shannon is starting to like fuss about getting up. She's like, let me make this clear, Buster, Katie Janella. I will never, ever speak to you again until the next episode. You are the most evil person. And she's like, I've apologized to you, Shannon. I've apologized. Now Gina and Jenn come over finally. And Shannon stands up. She's trying to defend herself. It's insanity. And Phil's like, oh my God, I haven't gotten to the weed bar yet. Like, my God. And Shannon's like, you are delusional. I'm delusional, Katie says. You're trying to rile me up. And Phil's like, I'll let the ladies handle it. This isn't like Love Hotel. Shannon goes, this girl, worse than Alexis Bellino. We've got a Jesus jugs on our hands. We're done. And I like the hand motion. We're done from Shannon Beador. And Katie just very calm, like, okay. And then Katie goes, she left her grilled cheese. It would have been awesome if Shannon, and I'm going to be taking this grilled cheese. And then it says to be continued. All Housewives episodes are to be continued. If you think about it, next time we have some $1 million listing cast members looking at Heather's mansion, so we're going to do a renovation. And then we have Tamra Tamra does show up to the party. Tamra shows up to the party with a mystery guest. And so she actually shows up. And then Heather, this part blew, I was not expecting this. Heather is in a conversation with Katie Janela. And Heather says, I heard you were asking Kiki Monique to put out stories. How did Kiki get involved in this? And Katie's like, who did you hear this from? And Heather goes, Tamra. So Kiki somehow talked to Tamra and said that Katie asked her to put out, Kiki, don't get involved in, it's too close. Oh my God. In fact, I heard that you asked Kiki Monique. Oh my God. So next week, one of our own, we will get to hear how she is involved in a storyline. Oh my God, that tickled me to no end. Okay, you guys, another very long recap, but I mean, the first 45 minutes, we were talking about other things. Now, it's the weekend, so I want you to have the best time ever. Tell people that you love them, hang out with friends or hang out with yourself, watch something good, stay away from reality television maybe, go on a hike or not, whatever you want. Eat something good, drink something great, and I will talk to you early on Monday with an all-new Pop Culture Roundup with Sophie Ross. Patreon members, what up, baddies? I put out the Valley After Show. It's up now, and that's it. Bye, guys.